And this gun question that we're so straddled with right now, when we actually have bigger things to fry as a world, it boggles my mind, because we're saying basically there's a rash of these things happening that are awful, and guns have been the tool, and we want them to stop. Okay, how do we stop it? Okay, first, we'll start and exclusively end with a new law. But however, it's because of people who don't care about the law against murder.
Yeah.
So someone who doesn't care about the law against murder and about the litany of laws that go into planning a murder, and then to the litany of laws against even thinking about using a firearm in a certain way, if they don't care about that, I find it very improbable that they're going to give a rat's dick about the illegality of their possession of the firearm. They're not even supposed to possess the thoughts. And clearly that didn't stop them. So who will be affected by laws? Only and exclusively the law-abiding, which are not the ones we're worrying about.
Correct. 100% correct.
So are we going after the law-abiders? Is that who the government's worried? I mean, you know, these are reasonable questions. And when these reasonable questions to determine the sincerity of something are met with, then I really don't find it to be very worth a shit.
No. It's the people. We have to deal with the criminals. Some, you know, the people that they're planning these things. I don't know how we can do it, but it's definitely, you know, gun laws are not the way.
Obvious ones, dude. I really do. I mean, I think there are some that are so obvious. If we go back and look with an honest eye, let's go back to the Columbine shooting, because you could argue that that's kind of the first one that kicked it off.
Oh yeah, in a sense, yeah.
They were inspired by a particular movie called Basketball Diaries. That was their favorite movie. It turns out that was the favorite movie of all the school shooters at that time. And in that movie, Leonardo DiCaprio's character dreams about righteously going into his classroom and killing his classmates while wearing a leather trench coat with a shotgun.
Yep.
They wore trench coats and called themselves the Trench Coat Mafia as a result. They coordinated and synchronized the same Marilyn Manson song in their headphones right when they started. They mapped their school plan according to their favorite level of doom. Now, we can talk about the availability of guns to legal and law-abiding citizens, but it seems to me that rock and roll, video games, and music and movies had a little bit to fucking do with it.
Absolutely, they did. Absolutely.
And when you're telling a group of people, say like the transgender movement, when, let's be honest, in my opinion, and I will go ahead and say that my defense and my ally status with the gay and lesbian community will be unquestioned, because my first album is the Transgender Flag. We're the first band in the world to ever. However, when you start telling a group of people that aren't really trans, they're normally sexual deviants who don't have any form of operation, actually aren't attracted to a member of the same sex. They just are. When that person is being told that they're being abused and that they have a moral right to defend themselves and that those that are oppressing them are evil, they might go shoot up a bunch of Christian kids because they want to stop the next generation.
Yeah.
You know, when Joe Biden called MAGA Republicans a threat to democracy, within the next week, 7 people were murdered. 2 of them were under the age of 18 because they were out trying to register. And they were all done by people who said they wanted to stop a MAGA extremist. Those things have consequences. You can drum and get people worked up. And if you know it will, then you're responsible. I mean, what is an insurrection? Is it a group of people protesting about the validity of an election and going into a state capitol, or a bunch of people dressed as the opposite sex going into a state capitol and demand? I mean, quid pro quo.
Yep.
What is an insurrection? Normally, according to the definition, it's an organized, violent assault against a state and its entities. So like federal employees and state courthouses.
Yep.
You know, the big thing about social media, the thing that people were afraid of with Elon Musk, was that he was about to reveal the whole fucking shooting match. Why? It's all fake. Followers, the opinions that it seems to reflect, it's completely from design manipulatable.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that turned on Twitter, it's because they lost almost 2/3 of their followers, revealing they were all bots.
Yeah, right.
You know, when Elon Musk, he didn't institute a fee, he's merely collected a fee for the blue check marks, demonstrating that it was always bullshit. it's an inflation tool. You can make it seem like the world favors your opinion when in fact there's just 6 people. It's 3 internet freaks jacking off in a fucking it's actually an old man on the phone sex line. It's actually a 42-year-old dude pretending to be a 12-year-old. It's actually
100%. 100% it is. Yeah.
that's right there. Everyone in cocktail conversations, every last one of us will say the internet's destroying the world without one deliberate, insightful conversation into what that actually means in a practical term.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the problem.